There are smells that never really leave us, the scent of home, the scent of love, and sometimes a single breath of something familiar can carry us back through 50 years of time, to a kitchen filled with laughter, to a voice that still echoes in the walls of memory. Tonight's story isn't about loss. It's about what stays, the sound of a teacup on the counter, the sunlight through the window, and the sweet perfume of orange blossoms that never stop blooming. Because some memories don't fade with time, they grow roots. This is the smell of orange blossoms, the memory that still smiles. And maybe, by the end, you'll remember a scent of your own. The old orange tree in the backyard had been there longer than anyone in the neighborhood. Every spring, it painted the air with a soft sweetness, the kind of scent that makes you stop, close your eyes, and breathe as if you're inhaling a memory. When Laura returned to her childhood home after retiring, she told everyone it was temporary, just a few months to sort things out. But that was before she saw the tree again. It stood tall, its roots deep in the same earth that once held her father's footprints. The bark was older now, rough and wise, but it still glowed under the afternoon sun, the same way it did when she was a barefoot little girl, running in circles with her brother laughing until her mother shouted, "Don't step on my gardenias." Laura smiled. "You're still here," she whispered to the tree, and in some strange way it felt like it smiled back. The house was quieter than she remembered, but not empty. The walls still whispered the sound of her mother's humming, the clatter of dishes, the radio playing Elvis in the kitchen. She found the old record player under a dusty cloth, gave it a gentle wipe, and placed a vinyl on top. The needle crackled, and suddenly, time folded. Her mother's favorite song filled the air. "Can't help falling in love." She stood there, eyes glistening, the melody wrapping around her like sunlight. It wasn't sadness. It was home. Every morning she made tea and sat on the porch, watching petals fall like orange snowflakes. The air carried that unmistakable smell, oranges, dew, and something softer. Sometimes, if she listened close enough, she could almost hear laughter echoing from decades ago. Her neighbor, Mrs. Hayes, walked by one morning and said, "Still talking to that tree, Laura?" She chuckled. "Well, it's the best listener I've got." Mrs. Hayes winked. "Just don't expect it to answer." Laura smiled. "You'd be surprised." One afternoon, while cleaning the attic, she found an old wooden box she didn't remember packing. Inside were things time had forgotten: her father's wristwatch, a postcard from her mother's honeymoon, and a folded recipe card titled Sunday Orange Cake. She touched it gently, her mother's handwriting, still looping and strong, flour stains, sugar dust. It smelled faintly of vanilla and zest. That night, she tried baking it. The result was lopsided and messy, half burned, half perfect. She laughed out loud, alone in the kitchen, and said, "Don't you dare tell anyone, Mom." As days passed, she began a small ritual. Every evening she'd pick a single orange from the tree, slice it open, and place half on the windowsill. "For Henry," she'd whisper. Her late husband had been a quiet man with warm hands and a laugh that filled the house. He loved that tree almost as much as she did. Whenever he went on business trips, he'd leave her a note. "Save me the first orange of spring." After he passed, Laura couldn't bear to cut the tree anymore, not until now. Now she felt peace when she touched it, as if each fruit was a heartbeat from somewhere else, a message that love still lingered. One morning, her grandson Oliver came to stay for a week. He was 7, all knees, freckles, and boundless curiosity. He explored every inch of the yard, touching leaves, chasing butterflies, and asking questions faster than she could answer. When he reached the old orange tree, he gasped, "Grandma, it's huge. Did you plant it?" She laughed. "No, it planted me. I grew around it." He looked confused. "Trees can't plant people." Laura smiled. "Maybe not with seeds, but with memories." He tilted his head. "Can it remember things?" Yes, she said softly. Trees remember everything that love touches. That night, they sat outside, watching the stars through the branches. Oliver leaned his head on her arm. "Grandpa's up there, right?" he asked. Laura nodded. "And I bet he's eating pie." "Pie?" Oliver giggled. "There's pie in heaven?" She smiled. "There's everything in heaven, especially oranges." The next morning, Laura taught him how to bake the Sunday orange cake. The kitchen filled with laughter, flour clouds, and the sound of spoons clinking against bowls. Oliver got more batter on the counter than inside the pan. When they finally took it out of the oven, it looked perfect, golden, warm, glowing. They carried it outside, sat under the orange tree, and shared the first slice. The smell filled the air, citrus and sugar and sunshine. Laura closed her eyes. For a moment, she could feel her parents sitting nearby, hear Henry's soft laugh, and see little Laura chasing petals through the grass. Everything, past and present, existed all at once. That evening they hung little glass jars with candles on the branches. The yard shimmered like starlight. Oliver ran barefoot in circles, just like she once did. She watched him and whispered, "He's me, and I'm my mother, and she's the wind." The candles flickered, and the tree seemed to hum in approval. It wasn't imagination. It was the gentle heartbeat of everything she'd ever loved. Weeks passed. Oliver went back home. But every time he called, he'd say, "Grandma, did you tell the tree I miss it?" She'd laugh. Every day, and every spring since, he'd visit again. Each year a little taller, but always running to that same tree first. One afternoon, when he was a teenager, he found her sitting beneath it, sketching. "Grandma, what are you drawing?" She smiled, showing him the paper. It was the old house, the tree, and two figures standing hand in hand beneath it. "Who's that?" he asked. "That's me," she said, "and everyone I ever loved." Years later, long after Laura was gone, Oliver brought his own children there. The tree still bloomed every spring, stronger than ever. He taught them how to bake the orange cake, how to listen to the wind, and how to talk to trees. One evening, his daughter asked, "Dad, do trees really remember?" He smiled. "They do, especially the ones that grew around love." And when the wind blew softly through the branches, he could have sworn he smelled oranges, warm, bright, familiar. He closed his eyes and whispered, "Hi, Grandma." Because some things time doesn't take, it preserves. The scent of home, the warmth of laughter, and the love that still blooms where we once belonged. We all leave something behind, not always things, but moments that cling to the air, like the smell of oranges on a spring morning. Laura's house may be quiet now, but her laughter lives in the leaves. Her stories, her love, they travel through the roots and rise with every blossom. Because love doesn't vanish, it simply changes its form. It becomes the scent of a garden, the warmth of sunlight, the echo of a memory that still smiles when you think of it. So take a deep breath and remember something that once made you happy. If you can still feel it, even after all these years, that means it never truly left. If this story warmed your heart, subscribe to Golden Lane and keep walking with us down memory's path where time fades, but love never does.